Hi guys, welcome back to a new Boom Beach video. Today I'm going to be showing you my task force's operation. So I'm going to try something new by holding my phone up way higher this time. But guys, my task force has been doing very well recently. I'm going to show you this this operation we did a few days ago on Deep Cut because we did incredibly well. Also, going to put it at ×4 for most of these battles, and we might not get through every battle. So just have to point that out. I'm going to skip Alamo first, just because that's the base we didn't finish, and then if we have time, I might show Alamo. Anyway, so I want to talk a little bit about task forces because I feel like I never really give task force strategy. And if you guys are trying to run a task force or you're in a task force, I really want to help you guys out by giving you some strategy. Now I have to point something out first. I'm not really an operation user. There was a time in my Boom Beach career, it was probably about a year long, when I got really into task forces and I grinded them out, and I think we were running dead end on a 10-man team. So it wasn't any of the super big like forlorn or duplexity hits, but I did learn how to use all Zookas. I did learn, that was a great attack, very close. Very well done by Ikit, who was actually also in the 10-man team me and him ran. Kind of one of the leaders when we were running that. So what I was saying was I learned a lot of the little base hits. So all of these bases I've seen before. Cooker, maybe not as much. I feel like Cooker's fairly new. I don't know. I definitely remember attacking Cooker, but it wasn't anything that was that difficult because I don't think Cooker appears on dead end. I might be wrong, but anyway, I learned how to plan out attacks, and I learned a lot about task forces and a lot about operations and a ton about all Zookas when I was going through that time period. What a great hit. Grenadiers, this is like the best base to bring Grenadiers and Bombardiers because they can stand out of range of the laser beams for the most part, but overall, a great hit. Took down the shield generators on the right hand side. So putting base layouts aside, when it comes to operations, I want to first talk about low levels, then we'll move up and talk about mid levels, and then we'll talk about high level players. So first, low level players. If you're a low level player, and I'm defining low level as someone who doesn't really have smoke, there's really not much you can do. You probably also don't have Captain Everspark remote hack, or universal remote, not remote hack. That's the gumbo ability that does the same thing. So if you don't have smoke or universal remote, you're a lower level. The best you can do is bring Ruka. And Ruka is riflemen and Zookas, and I would space out your riflemen so you have a constant line of riflemen running up the base, and then you place your Zookas behind it, follow notes. All these different strategies I'm going to give you at these different levels, you're going to be following the base notes first thing first. You know what? Don't worry about my opinion, follow the notes. If it tells people to use hookah, try to find out the reason for that and try to see if you should use hookah. Hookah is a good combination, but I would say like low level players really should be using Ruka because their heavies are super weak and really aren't going to be able to do much damage. All that being said, that was kind of low levels. Use Ruka. Just try to take down 1 or 2 buildings that are useful. If you're planning out an operation, definitely pick a side for a base. You could also YouTube videos. That's kind of what I did. I would always look up how to defeat like Orbifold solo. Now I was a pretty decent all-Zooka player at that time period, so I could do some of these solos. You can't expect your low levels or mid levels or even high levels who don't have a ton of experience with all Zookas. You cannot expect them to be doing Zooka hits that you see in videos. Those videos are usually really good players and it takes a long time to learn. I would say don't tell your task force to like watch a video to learn about a certain base and learn how to attack a certain base. You definitely could. I would say if you're trying to decide how to defeat a base, watch the video, write it in the notes, because not everyone is going to watch a video, but everyone should be watching and looking at the notes and seeing when they change. So that's kind of overall strategy. Definitely don't expect your members to be doing these complicated all Zooka hits. It's just too much. Okay, so now let's talk about mid-level. You have smoke, you have Everspark. This player is a perfect example of a good mid-level hit. You really can't do much. Okay, this player has more Zookas than I thought, but you really can't do much damage on operation bases. But if you can take out 2 to 3 rocket launchers or shock launchers that are on the base that are just in a very bad position, that's going to be so useful to players later on attacking the base. That's advice I would give to low-level and mid-level players. Now let's talk a little bit about high-level players where there's a ton of variability in playing styles. Typically, you're going to be doing one of 2 different attack combinations when you're a higher level. You're going to be using all Zookas with smoke, maybe bring a boat of heavies or something. Or you'll be using something like bombardiers or grenadiers for a specific reason. You know, I see a lot of players just go at a base like this head on and take down a ton of buildings. This base is probably alright to take down some of these mortars first, so it would save a ton of smoke. But I would see a ton of players attack bases and clear when they shouldn't be clearing, when they should be using an all-Zuka hit. Or I see a ton of players trying to do these complicated all-Zuka hits when they should just be clearing. So there's definitely a good balance between what you want to do and your skill level. So you want to push yourself, like you want to get better at all Zookas. That is an amazing skill to have in Boom Beach. It won't only help you in operations, but it will help you defeat players that are really, really strong. And if you get good enough with Zookas, it's actually a better combination than warriors. So it's very, very good. Great hit by this player. This was a beautiful hit. I loved it. Yeah, this was a great hit. Great job by Ace coming in, taking down the base, realizing his skill level, and then utilizing his troops correctly. So for a base like this, Ransom is a rough base, and this is actually a pretty easy Ransom. Sometimes you get rocket launchers on the beach. Spend some hits clearing some of the rocket launchers. You know why? Because if you can't defeat a certain base, if you're like less than 80 or 90% sure you'll be able to defeat a certain base, do an attack that will make it easier for the upcoming player attacks on the base, or send someone in to clear stuff, maybe like a lower level. So this player, I would say this player is a pretty low level. I don't think this player has smoke. I don't really know what they would do to this base. Honestly, they probably should have just attacked a different base, but they took down a cannon on the beach. It's not much, but it's on the beach, and it was the right defense. You know, you wouldn't want to see a player go from the left-hand side trying to take down this random defense on the left-hand side, or worse yet, power cell farming. So if you guys don't know, absolutely never power cell farm. If there's a ton of power cells on the left-hand side of a base, like over here, look at all these power cells. If someone comes in and clears all those power cells and doesn't like walk over here and try to take down the core in that hit, that was kind of a pointless attack. Like honestly, this base is a really easy Chimera. Like a very easy Chimera. So I don't know. There are 2 ways you can attack this base. A great attack by General Wolf. I really like taking down the defenses on the beach, which helps him save smoke. That was a great hit. Another hit that someone could have done was go over here. So an opening hit that I see done a lot of times on Chimera is taking down these defenses over here, flaring up here, grabbing all these power cells, and then flaring down here, hitting the core and taking out the core. Typically, like, isn't the left-hand side typically all rocket launchers up by the core? I think it is, and it makes it really difficult. Okay, so here's a lower, I think, maybe not that low of a player, using Everspark, hacking the rocket launcher. Very nice hack. In this case, there's way too many rocket launchers here to hack them. There's just too many. You can only do so much. And I think that player actually dropped troops after I retreated. Yeah, but he didn't get any force points. I think it was a lower level player, so that's alright. Definitely the right attack. So for a base like this, you have to be pretty good to use Zookas and take down these shield generators. For this type of base, it would be way better for your members as a whole to go from the left-hand side. That's the thing about operations. You can't think in terms of yourself. You have to think in terms of your entire task force, all your members. Because if you mess up an attack, when you should have been clearing. Like if you mess up a Zuka attack when you should have been clearing the base, that's really, really difficult. Because I know, especially when I mess up an attack, when I mess up an all Zuka attack, when I thought I could take down a base, I was pretty confident, I mess it up, it sucks. You feel awful, and you really can't do much. This player, you really can't do much if that happens. I would say that was okay, spending one boat of bombardiers to take down some buildings on the beach, which don't really matter, but grabbing a lot of extra energy. I would say that's worth it, maybe. Okay, gets critters down, has some shocks down. Very nice attack. Very nice attack. I like that. It was a pretty easier ransom, but still a good attack. So this is Alamo. I'm gonna skip Alamo just because these operation bases are sometimes get a little too long. Where is it? Okay. So Always a Winner took down Ransom. I think I already showed an Alamo hit. Yeah. Okay, so here is another Manticore hit. So for high level users, you really just have to plan out your attacks better, and if you're confident for an all Zuka attack, go for it. But if you're like 50% chance you'll be able to take down a certain base, do not go for it. That would just be a stupid choice. Only try to use AZ if you are pretty confident in your skills, but still, you want to learn AZ. Make sure your staff for your task force do AZ operations only. Those are really helpful for everyone. You could do an operation that's like 4 levels less than what you typically do, and just force people to use all Zukas no matter what. It's really beneficial. And in addition to learning all Zukas, because that's basically what high level operations come down to, you have to know how to use all Zukas. So in addition to learning all Zukas in operations, you also should be playing with them on your main base. This player is just going to go around the top, taking down mortars. In addition to using them on an operation, you also want to learn how to use them for your main base. So do attack players that are higher than you with all Zukas. It's very helpful. And for like every operation, I would say just boost up. If you have energy, or if you have the power stones, the power powder, just boost up. It's really nice when you are doing an all Zuka hit and you just have a ton of energy, like way more energy than you need. So this is what I was kind of saying about the rocket launchers on the beach. This player is using Ruka. I like that. But you need to space out your troops one by one. So you have a constant line of riflemen going up. Okay, so here we go. Here's Oreo taking down Manticore. I believe Oreo finished off Manticore. And I think this is going to be the last attack I'm going to show for today's video. But overall, very nice job by my task force taking down, not taking down, but getting very close to taking down Deep Cut. It's a very tough operation. There's a lot of skill that's required to take it out, and for a task force that doesn't really vet players based on level or skill, I would say it was a very nice job by us taking a stab at Deep Cut and actually doing pretty well. So there we go. Oreo takes down Manticore, and we're back to Dead End, taking down Dead End. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please drop a like if you did. We are starting a new round of giveaways on our Discord server. A link is down below. And also, make sure you guys are entering code COSMIC in the shop to help support us. Anytime you make a purchase, before you make it, just enter code COSMIC, and it helps us a lot. So I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.